Hi, and welcome to week 3 in this stitched circle show challenge. I can hardly see it, but this is the name of this challenge, and it is week 3 today. And if you just have fall down here in this video, I will highly recommend you go back and watch week 1. There I explain everything about this challenge and everything about what a Dane means by working after Dogma Rules. And I will put a link in the below here under the video, under the little word more. Click on that and there would be the links for this playlist. Yeah, last time I left you with this time, this was week 2, and I like my spreads to be not the same, but that isn't interesting, but I like them to look nice together, color wise, mostly. The shapes is given here because it's all about circles, so I have been thinking about what I would do today. And as I have come up with for week 3 here, it will be about, the first rule will be use a light color fabric or some thin felt in a light color or a creamy color. Use used tea bags and only the blanket stitch. That was the 3 rules for this week 3. I will write them in the description under more here below the video, so it is, you can see it there. And while I'm working, I will tell a little more about it, and I will also give some other options if you don't have tea bags, so if you don't have this or that, what you can do instead. So that is the plan for week 3. By the way, my name is Lisbeth and I'm an abstract mixed media, a Danish one. So pardon my English isn't always the best, but yeah, I think you can see what I'm doing and probably understand most of what I'm saying. But I like to do all sorts of things: jelly printing, slow stitching, making collages with both fabric and paper, making books, altering books, and yeah, you name it. All these different things you can find on this channel. And if you're only interested in one of the subjects, look at the playlists. I have tried to divide them up, so if you're only interested in jelly printing, look at the playlist that's called, I think, jelly printing techniques, but it is easier to look there. So, and also I would say in the link below, I also would put, or in under the video here under more, I will also put a link to a Facebook group called Dogma Rules / Dogma Embroidery. And here you are more than welcome to be a member and more than welcome to show what you're doing each week. I will also put a post in there with this piece I will do and the Dogma rules for that. And for each week, there are some tabs under the picture, and it says different things, and I don't know what they are called in English. But the last tab here in my Facebook group is called albums. It is perhaps called media by you, but when you click at that, you can find something called albums, and there I will be making an album for each week, so you can post your pictures there of what you have been doing for that week. It is so much easier afterwards to look at. Hopefully there will be a lot of you who will do this. Put the pictures in there, and it's so nice to look in these albums and see all the different things people has been doing. There already lies 17 albums for a couple of years ago where we made challenges once a month, and there you can both see what the challenge was and all the things people were doing, and it is so nice to look at and all those pictures. Yeah, but enough of me talking and babbling along here. Let us start with today's prompts and stitching. I don't give you any measurements for anything, because I don't know if you will do it in a book, or you perhaps will do it in a bigger book, or how you would want to do put your embroideries. But I have chosen this book here, and there also is a video on not how I made the cover, but how I sewed it together so it ended up like a cover. And I can put that on the more also. But mine isn't so big, and that is mainly because I was thinking about not making this project to a big project that would take forever to do. So I have chosen to make mine not so big. And the pages in this book is 16 by 15.5, and I like there's a white border around here. So I have taken some felt. It is there's a little wool in it, and there's something else in it, and then I think I would cut a square at the size as this one is, and that was 13 by 13 centimeters. So that is what I will do today. I think I will start just cutting it so I won't be sitting with such a big piece. Yeah, and away with that. And I don't think anything is even on this side here, so I will turn it this way. Then it is easier for me. And I have I think it is called a rotary cutter, but I'm not sure. But I have this instrument here. So like this, and then this is evener, I know. And this is just to make it straight. And here's this one. And if I were you and you were doing this, I would stand up doing it. That is much easier. Yeah, I will have to look here at the numbers of the healing cutting mat. And then I would have to find 13, and that is here. Like this. It slides a little around, so I would have to be careful. Yeah, 13, that is exactly as the paper on the other page. And then again 13 here, like this. So now I have a little square piece here, and I can pull you a little in here by 13 by 13 centimeters. And if you don't have this very thin felt, use a heavy fabric instead. I'm so lucky, and I have this box of old tea bags, rinsed old tea bags. And if you don't drink tea, perhaps you can ask somebody who does to save their bags for you. Or if you don't have these bags, perhaps you can find a napkin or something, or some tissue you can paint in these tea colors. that's the options I can think of right now. But many have these bags. So I will cover them. Yeah, this is perhaps not the best side. I have some there were squares. Perhaps I should try them and see how that looks. They are a little wonky, but I can always cut the excess or the overhanging off afterwards. That doesn't matter so much. Yeah. There I just have half one here. Perhaps that is, yeah. I think this looks fine. So I will just take my trusted glue stick, and this is the one that's going down as the last, and then this one, and then this one. And I won't glue it all over. I will just give it some dabs somewhere so they are sitting there and not run away, because we are going to stitch into this. Who would have guessed that when it is a stitch challenge? Yeah, like this. And, perhaps we could do it this way. And then there was this one. I think I like this one here with the I will go for this. This could be, remove this. This could be a strange thing to stitch into. So, like this. So they will be sitting there, and now I will let it dry for a couple of minutes. It isn't so nice to stitch into wet glue or glue from a glue stick. So I will be back. I think it is dry enough, but before I do anything, I will cut the edges clean here. And I can tell you this felt here is, I had dyed myself, or dyed, that is too much, but I have just made a big teapot with tea and used that. Put the tea in a bowl and then just drop the felt into the tea, and it was a strong tea, and let it soak there for a little, and then it ended up with this color. And the lucky thing was I like the color because you can never quite figure out exactly what color you end up with. Some black teas are giving more colors, and green tea you can be lucky sometimes to get a very nice yellowish, greenish color. And I have also tried to use other kinds of teas, and yeah, you can get many colors, not strong colors. You can get much more color this way by letting the tea bags dry by themselves, and it takes a couple of days. And put them, not stack them up smush them together, then they can sometimes start to rotten. So just put them on a plate and let them stand there for a couple of days. Yeah, but I talked about only using blanket stitches today, and for those of you who don't know the blanket stitches, I think I would show it to you before I start doing anything there. And this is the way I do it, and I am right-handed, so if you're left-handed you will have to work it out, but it is a quite simple stitch. You come up and then you go up a little further and come up again at the same line as where you thread comes up, and then you had to make that loop, and then you pull your thread, and here is your first stitch. Then you go down in the same level, on the same level or the same height as the previous one, and again. Like this. And here right now I'm trying to make them very even, the same length of the, I call them legs, that is the way I describe them, and I try to make them nearly the same height. But you can also choose to go all up there, and again the same level here, and then you got a long leg. You can choose again to go high up, but much closer beside here. Like this. Or you can choose to go all over out there and do it like this. And that is what I mean about you can do whatever you want with this stitch. You can have so much space between here as you like, and you can make the legs as long as or as short as you like. Play with it here in this thing we're going to stitch. Or if you don't like that, choose the length and the heights of your stitch and do that all the way around. That is also okay. And for the color thread, I have chosen a black thread, but you can use whatever color thread you like. That is up to you. Again, I always stitch towards myself like this, but I know, and I don't think I can do it, but yeah, I know many English women, they do it like this, stitch like this, and of course I can do it here now because my thread is there, but you can do it all the way the other way around, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't do that. My fingers won't do that, but I think you can see what it is I was doing. So that was just a little test so you can see how the blanket stitch looks. So now we will start on this piece, and we're going to stitch a circle, of course. And since I want my circle to be in the middle, I will just take here the half of 13 is 6.5. I will just take a pen and make a line here. And then I will do the same. So the middle will be there. So that is 6.5 and 6.5 and 6.5 and 6.5. Just double taking. I'm not very good at these things of measuring. Very often I eyeball it, but now I'm just showing you a way to find the middle, and I've just poked a needle up here in so I can see it, and there's a small hole now, but that doesn't matter because this is where my middle will be. So again, I have just used my mercerized cotton thread I always use. So the way I start a circle, this is on a straight line, but it's exactly the same you do, but you're just doing it in circles. Is I come up a little away from the center. You don't start in the center, at least I don't start in the center. Perhaps others are doing it differently. And then I go down in the middle where I poke the hole, and then I come up about half a centimeter or so away and make a loop and drag it through here. Then I go down in the same hole and I come up a little further away, and now the tricky thing is to try and make a circle. And perhaps mine ends quite wonky, I don't know yet. But if it does, I don't mind. And neither should you. But if you're a really neat person, I don't know if you could draw lines here, or because then you would have to do it with something that disappears over time, or because you can't put it under the tab. And perhaps you can do some very small pencil lines if you're into it, but I would recommend you just eyeball it and see the pleasure in that. And I don't pull very hard in my thread because I don't want to damage this paper here. It can take a lot, but it has its limits. But you can see, since I'm stitching on this frill here, I don't need to put it in a hoop. But if you're doing it on fabric, you could put it in a hoop if you're one of those people who likes to stitch in a hoop. I seldom use a hoop. So now, I've come to the last round here. So again, I go down in the middle, and then I come up in the same hole, if I can hit it. Here, I can, like this. Again, secure the loop, and then I go down on the other side of that leg here, and down in the same hole, if I can hit it. There. And then it is secured. That is the first little circle. You could have chosen to not close it, but started to go around, and then you would have made a spiral instead. That is also an option. But here in this case, I want to do my rounds, finish my rounds. So now I will do it a little different when I start. I will come up above it's not a bow, for a bow is something you put in your hair. What do you call this? An arch, perhaps? But you come up inside it here, and then you stitch. You see I pull it a little down with my needle, go inside there, and then come up here in the middle in the loop, and then I have secured that. I don't really push it through. I made it a little loose because when we come all the way around, we're going to go into that leg again. And here you will have to increase. So sometimes you will have to go 2 times in the same arch. So you can see I have done it 2 times down here, and at the beginning you will have to do that more, and when you come further and further away, maybe you don't have to do it doubled, only perhaps for every 3rd or 4th or 5th time. But again, that is just playing it by ear and see. And here I think I will put 2 in also. Not so here I will put 2. Perhaps I will put 2 in the second round on all of them, so they look nice. And that was a big one, but I think it is okay. That is, if you're used to crochet, that's the same when you start with a circle. For the next circle, you will always do 2 stitches in the next row to decrease it. But I will do all the way around, or at least until I don't have any more thread, and then I can show you how to change the thread. Nearly running out of thread, but you can see I have come to the first stitches, and there is sitting this little arch there. So I just go inside it like this and pull my thread through here, and then I will secure my thread on the back, just weaving it inside here. So that was, yeah, more luck than to be clever. I ended up there. And don't mind it sees a little strange out, because next round the next stitch will do it, it will look nice. So again, I will just take some new thread, and it is always so nerve-wracking to thread your needle here on film. And this is very small needle I'm using, and yeah, perhaps I should mention that the smaller needle you can thread, especially in this project when you're stitching into old tea bag papers, it is best to have a very small needle. Yeah, but I again will just come up here inside the arch. That round here. Oh, I'm old. There it was. And perhaps I can think of making my legs a little longer this time. Yeah, who doesn't want to have long legs? So I will go a little further out here in this round here, like this, and I don't tie that very much. And now I come to where I ended the last round, and you can see as soon as I stitch it down here, it ends up looking nice. like this. But you can play with it, how long or short you want the legs on your stitches to be. And now I'm doing it in the rounds, but you can also do it inside one round, do it differently, and that could also make very nice patterns, or a nice circle at the end. There I made 2 now because I thought it would be best to have 2 stitches here. I will come up here and you can see now these are bigger. But I will continue until I don't have any more thread here, and perhaps it will be not at the end but somewhere else, and then I can show you how I change thread in the middle of the round. So I'm nearly out of thread. So the way I do it is I go down like I would have done normally and push my needle through, and then I had this big loop sitting there, and I thread my needle again and make a knot. And then I come up where I normally will come up here, like this, and then I will pull carefully in the thread here on the back side, and there it is. And that, when I'm done with this, I can always weave this end in, and I will just continue. And I hope I am in frame, and I think I am. There. And again. Like this. So I will continue this round and decide what I will do on the next round. So I have decided to do a round with only some smaller legs or shorter legs than the previous row. And you can see if you'd hold it like I do here, it is very easy to stitch. It makes some crackly fine noises here, stitching into this paper. And when it does a thing like that, don't be too wild with your hands. Just take it slowly and get tangled out so you don't damage the paper. Or you can give it a little dab there, perhaps, if you want to. So I will slowly work my way out, and I will stop it a little before I come to the edges. And you could see how different you can get it to look depending on how big or small your stitches are or the length of your legs are. So done with the round with the smallest of them. So again, I think I will take some stitches with longer legs. So I start again exactly the same way. And you can see you don't have to increase so often as in the second round. You can, for instance, say here I will only do one stitch in each of the arches, and then there would be a longer between them, but that could look nice too. You can, there are so many options or so many ways you can choose to do this, and I really hope you will choose to do it your way, and I am hoping to see a lot of lovely stitched circles on tea bags in the group, but like this. But I will continue. I think you have got it now. So I am done, and I made a last round with a little smaller stitches, and you can see it is a little wonky, but you can see it's a circle. So I will just turn it around and secure my threads here, and you can see I have these other 4 threads dangling there, and I will also just secure the ends there. If I should say something about stitching in tea bags or paper, and if it is something you haven't done much of or done before at all, perhaps this is a good way to start to try and stitch into papers, because you have this felt or fabric at the back side, so it perhaps doesn't feel like it is so difficult than stitching directly into only paper. So perhaps start here with this here, but be a little careful. Tea bags can take a lot, but it has its limitations, of course. So here for the last one, and I haven't taken time on how long I have been on doing this, but it can't have taken very long. So away with my needle and all my small doodle threads here, and in the bin with them. So here it is, and I will find my book and I will glue it in my book and decide which one is up and down. But to sum it up, the Dogma rules here for this week 3 was use some felt or a heavy kind of fabric as background. Cover it with tea bags or other papers if you don't have tea bags. That was number 2. And number 3, only use blanket stitches, and you are welcome to make variations with long and short legs, so how long or small you will have them between the legs. And 4, yeah, that isn't perhaps a rule, but you can use any color of thread you like. Yeah, nice, that makes me happy. So I will find my book and put it in my book. I think I want it this way, so I will just turn it over. And you can of course sew it into your book with some running stitches, but since I'm putting something on both sides of a page, I don't want visible sewings different places, but because I'm not sure I can cover them. So I have decided to use double-sided tape, but that is just my way of doing it here in this challenge. If I have been working on only one side of the page, as I hope you know what I mean. If I only have been doing something there and there, you could have sewed it on. But since I have things there and there, it isn't a little difficult to do the stitching. If I've made that one first and stitched that on, then there would have been a row of stitches there, and I don't like that. But that is just me. If you like it, do it. And with everything else here I'm doing, do it like you like to do it, or do it in your way, but try to stick to the rules and see what you can come up with. And you can interpret them a little perhaps, but yeah. I have just pulled the backing of the double-sided tape off, and now I will there. And sorry, I think I will stand up. It is much easier to see if I put it on even. So there. Yeah, and sitting down again. So there it is. Week number 3. And again I will put the Dogma Rules in the under more here, under the film or the video. So I have just written in here beside or under the piece, week 3, 1 felt background, 2 used teabags, 3 blanket stitches in any sorts of sizes, 4 free thread color. So I think it is to understand if you have been seeing this. So done with week 3, and I really hope you are enjoying this challenge here and you want to participate in. I'm hoping to see a lot of different stitches in the group. So if you have learned a little, been inspired to do this, I would deeply appreciate it if you would give my video a thumbs up or consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very helpful of you, and I will appreciate it very, very much. So take care, and hopefully I will see you again next Thursday to week 4, and then I will have to think of something. I can come up with something new and exciting perhaps, or perhaps an old thing in new ways. You never know. But take care and be creative, and bye bye for now.